Okay, so this video is going to go over literal equations. So the first strategy that we talked about in class today was factoring. So to factor, we use that when the variable that we are interested in is in two places. So if I have v equals 3q plus rq, the variable I'm interested in is in two places. And I can't solve for it when it's in two places, so I want to take it away from both places, or factor it out. That gives me q times 3 plus r on the right-hand side. You can always double check by redistributing it. Q times 3 gives me 3q, q times r gives me rq, and so I get back to where I started. So now that I have q in one place, I can simply solve for q. I know that q is being multiplied by 3 plus r, so to solve, all I need to do is divide both sides by 3 plus r. And so that gives me that the variable I wanted, q, is equal to v divided by 3 plus r. The second strategy we discussed is clearing the denominator. The variable I'm interested in is in the denominator, and it's really not useful there. So what I want to do is I want to get it out of the denominator. So to do that, I'm just going to multiply both sides by the denominator. And so now the denominator on this side cancels, and my new equation is f times d1 d2 is equal to k times m1 m2. And now I see that d2, which is what I'm interested in, is being multiplied by f d1. So to solve, all I need to do is work backwards and divide both sides by f d1. And so I get my answer to be that d2 is equal to k m1 m2 divided by f d1. Okay, so the last problem involves both strategies. So I see my variables in the denominator, so I'm going to start off immediately by multiplying both sides by d1 minus d2 to get the variable out of the denominator. And I'm going to put the d1, d2 in parentheses on this side because of that subtraction to make sure that it's all multiplied by the t. So the denominator's gone over here, and I'm left with t times d1 minus d2 is equal to d1 times d2. So I see the variables in two places. So the idea is to get the variable I'm interested on one side so I can factor, because when the variable's in two places, I think of factoring. So I'm going to distribute that t so I can move this d2. And so I get t d1 minus t d2 is equal to d1 d2. So the two terms with d2 that I have are this term, I really should have put that in pink, and this term. So I'm going to try to get those on the same side. So to do that, I'm going to add t d2 to both sides. I'm just trying to move it so that it's all on one side. So I have t d1, my term with no d2s in it, and I have d1 d2 plus t d2. So now that I have the variable that I'm interested in on one side, I'm going to factor out the d2 so that I only have one d2 because I can't solve for two d2s. So d2 times d1 plus t is equal to t d1. And now all I need to do is, since I have one d2 being multiplied by d1 dt plus t, I'm going to divide both sides by d1 plus t. And so I get that d2 is equal to t d1 divided by d1 plus t. So that's how you combine factoring and clearing the denominator to solve one problem.